All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. Well, the secret is no longer a secret as it's out of the bag that Formula One will now be broadcast on Apple TV exclusively beginning in 2026. There had been rumors about this deal since the summer after the F1 movie, which Apple had a big hand in. But is exclusively going to this streaming platform in particular going to help or hinder Formula One in the United States? I say this because Apple is not considered to be a streaming giant like an Amazon, Netflix, or YouTube, as an example. As you know, some of those media platforms that I just named, okay, they have media deals in place with the likes of the NBA and the NFL. And aside from that, most people are not going out of their way to subscribe to Apple TV like they would an Amazon, a YouTube, or a Netflix, as an example. Okay. You think about what we've seen from Apple TV in the world of sports, their big swing and miss with Major League Baseball on Friday nights. Okay. And you think about, it's basically the same thing with the MLS. And you have to wonder, could Formula One be prepping to have a similar fate? To me, I look at it like this. Formula One took the money. And I feel that in doing so, they overplayed their desire for their product with American sports fans, while Apple overpaid for it. Now, Apple is paying $160 million per year for the rights to Formula One in comparison to the 90 million that Formula One is currently getting from ESPN. But I'll tell you like this. American racing fans, they like Formula One, don't get me wrong, but they also have other options in the form of NASCAR and IndyCar, which they don't have to go out there and pay exclusively for on a streaming platform. I know that some races, okay, for NASCAR are on Amazon Prime, but not all of them. All right. And nonetheless, if you're IndyCar and you're NASCAR, especially among your American fans, you have to be thrilled about this news because guess what? The racing fans are going to gravitate to your platforms more to watch your product. And I think this is going to be a golden opportunity for these two circuits to go out there and enhance their popularity. Now, for me, in my opinion, if Formula One wanted to increase their product and popularity in the United States, then they should have partnered with multiple outlets for their races, maybe continuing their partnership with ESPN while also getting a streaming platform on board. Granted, ESPN does have a streaming platform of their own, or maybe getting a platform like a Peacock, for an example. And I say this because NBC is looking to relaunch the NBC Sports Network. And I think you would then have the opportunity to have some races on the NBC Sports Network, have some races on NBC, and then also have some races on Peacock, giving people options. But this right here is kind of like, well, this is what we're doing, and either you're with us or against us. It's kind of like one of those mentalities. Honestly, I'm not going to be a Debbie Downer per se, but I simply don't see the marriage between Apple TV and Formula One ending well. You look at it already. The bulk of F1's races already are in Europe and Asia, and they're televised in the early morning hours on Sunday in the US. And I simply don't see the appeal for American racing fans to go out there to pay to stream these races in the same fashion that maybe they might to watch the Premier League. I simply don't see them gravitating to Apple TV like that. I think this was a huge faux pas on the part of Formula One because instead of them going out there and capitalizing on their newfound popularity in the U.S., Formula One has found a way to do the opposite, which is mind-boggling. I mean, you think about it. They've increased the amount of races that they have in the US. You got to race in Vegas now. You've got to race in Miami, and of course, North America in general, because they have a race in Canada. And to do this, along with the Circuit of Americas, but to do this, I think it just simply does not make sense. You look at IndyCar, okay, for an example, and they just enjoyed a spike in viewership for their 2025 season as it was their first year with Fox. And of course, one of the big sticking points for IndyCar when they left NBC to go to Fox was that, hey, all of their races were going to be on Fox, not the Fox Sports app, FS1 or FS2. With NBC, of course, there were some races on NBC, some on Peacock, some on USA. Previous to that, the NBC Sports Network, when it was still around, you name it. And IndyCar was like, hey, you know what? We don't want to be treated like a stepchild. We want to get the main event status, so to speak, and they got it and it showed. And I think, again, for something like IndyCar, this is another opportunity for them to go out there and really flex their muscles and extend their rising popularity. So I'll look at it like this. Yes, Formula One got the money from Apple TV, but at the end of the day, will they regret this move? Because all money's not good money. And again, like I said, Formula One, I mean, not Formula One, excuse me, Apple TV, they thought they were on to something with Friday Night Baseball. People simply did not gravitate to them. Okay. And I don't see them gravitating to the American racing fans gravitating to the streaming platform. You've got to give them something to get behind, and I simply don't think that this is it. And when it's all said and done, I think this is going to be something that is regretted by F1. But folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank each and every one of you for checking out the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. And as always, if you like what you heard and saw on this podcast, you know what to do. Just hit that like button as well as subscribing to this channel. And like I always say, it's greatly appreciated. The same, or pardon me, rather, if you are on the X, formerly known as Twitter, you can check me out at 300 Pounds of Sports. And if you give me that follow, I will give you that follow in return. And the same goes for Instagram, where you can check me out at 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge. Also, if you are on Facebook, definitely check out the Sports Depot 365. And as far as I'm concerned, one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. But until next time, fine folks, my name is William Martin, and I'm signing off. And I'm saying thanks once again for checking out the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. Be well, everybody.